Oh, what? You thought only superheroes could fall in love? Welcome back, Nerd Squad. Everyone deserves love, which is what we are here to celebrate today with this wicked list. Join me as we count down the top 10 greatest supervillain couples. Couples who not only enjoy wreaking havoc on the superhero community together, but also love and care for one another so much that it'll bring a tear to your eye, and maybe even inspire a hero to let them off with a warning. I'm just saying, I've seen it happen. Alright, let's get counting. Number 10, Thanos and Death. I know a lot of you are probably going to be surprised with how low this one ranked, but honestly, as powerful as these two are together, the problem is they really often aren't together at all. Thanos' love for Death mostly goes unrequited, with him doing all sorts of things to try and prove himself to the cosmic entity who usually chooses to appear, at least to Thanos, as a hot lady, probably to encourage him to do her bidding. In one reality, the two do end up together, but only after Thanos has wiped out all sentient life in the universe, and even then she still wants more. In order for her to stay with him, Death also demands Thanos' own life as well. She's a hard lady to impress, I gotta say. Also, I feel like we should rank this one low just simply because Death has also been with Thane before, which is Thanos' son, so it's kind of weird. Number 9, Penguin and Riddler. Say what? I know, but these two have a bit of a romantic connection on the show Gotham, surprisingly. Well, not too surprisingly, I suppose, since Edward Nygma did end up saving the Penguin's life and was present for and helped with his entire recovery thereafter. But of course, in the comics, this isn't something we'd normally see. Of course, Gotham often offers us alternate stories and fresh takes on characters that we otherwise are very familiar with in the comics. And this potential relationship is no exception. I say potential because while the Penguin is very much interested in Riddler, Nygma doesn't really reciprocate the feelings. Of course, this could also be because their close friendship is complicated, and that is an understatement as well. Complicated. With Oswald Cobblepot at one point even threatening Nygma's life. Complicated. Number 8, Rita Repulsa and Lord Zedd. I mean, I can't do a great supervillain couple list and not mention these two now, can I? If I can fit them in somewhere, you know I'm gonna. Initially, the romance actually started as a plot for Rita to get revenge on Zedd, who had her banished. Her plan? To make him fall in love with her, marry her, and then betray and kill him, getting him back for all that time she had spent imprisoned. However, that's not how it ended up working out in the end, and while the two did end up married, Rita actually never ended up killing Lord Zedd. In fact, she seemed to kind of grow fond of him. The two even would have a son together and remain together well into the future after Zordon ended up transforming all the Rangers' humanoid villains into full-on humans, turning them good with his last actions at the end of Power Rangers in Space. I also love how their son resents that his parents are good now. He's like, ugh. Number 7, Black Mask and Victor Zsasz. Okay, so these two aren't together in the comics, but in the film Harley Quinn Birds of Prey, I definitely picked up on some romantic and sexy vibes from the pair. And it was talked about a ton before and after the movie, as both Ewan McGregor and Chris Messina were electric together on screen. Electric! I can't deny that before I saw the film, I myself was actually worried about how this relationship was going to work between them. I just couldn't see the two characters together in really any capacity. They just seemed to have very different approaches to crime and life in general. But once I did see the film, it all kind of made sense to me. And now here I am, a Roman Sionis and Victor Zsasz shipper. Woo! What they both share is a love of death, a love of controlling others and of power for their own reasons. For Victor, the power comes from taking life, and for Sionis, it comes from a sense of control, which can also sometimes, of course, translate into taking lives. What's more, Black Mask has a tendency to enjoy watching more than participating. He doesn't like to get his hands dirty, which is where Victor comes in. Victor also seems to worship Roman Sionis and has an intense sense of loyalty, with Roman trusting Victor as well quite a bit in the film. Number 6, Carnage and Shriek. When it comes to murderous mayhem, no one does it better than Carnage and Shriek. I never thought someone like Cletus Cassidy could ever be in love, or that said love would ever be, I guess, real. But in this case, it really is. In absolute carnage, Shriek proved her own loyalty to her partner by giving her life to be with him, which sounds backwards, but trust me, it makes sense when you read it. sort of. Shriek died so that she could basically be reborn again in a way as Demogoblin, giving us a classic romantic moment as retold by the two villains when Shriek says, "I love you," and Carnage responds with, "I know," before tearing out her spine. Yikes. While Frances Barrison is gone, Demogoblin, like Shriek before her, is still intensely in love with Carnage and with Cassidy. Love never dies, I guess, even if you tear out someone's spine. Number 5, Killer Croc and Enchantress. You may have never thought we'd have these two on a couples list, especially not together, but hey, you'd be wrong. June Moon / Enchantress and Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc, are actually surprisingly adorable together. Why? Because they both see things in each other that others normally struggle to see in them. They both think the other person is nice, and they don't have the desire to eat one another. So, you know, that's the basics. Although they might be inclined to devour each other in a more sexy way. Their attraction to one another slowly built over the course of their time serving on the Suicide Squad together, and became undeniable during a story where all prisoners in Belle Reve appeared to be driven insane, being forced to give in to their base urges. For Croc and Moon, that was each other, and they ended up finding solace and happiness in one another's embrace. Super cute. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, just a quick reminder to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it and you want more like it. Which who doesn't? Give me more supervillain lists. Give them to me. Number 4, Titania and Absorbing Man. These two are just a match that always end up sticking together. Mary McFerrin's Titania and Carl Crusher Creel's Absorbing Man aren't just partners in crime, but are also married. Absorbing Man. I said that's so weird, but I stand by it. I stand by it. In fact, at one point when Absorbing Man was on a redemption streak trying to live a normal life, he even tried to scare Titania into joining him because he was so worried for her own well-being. No matter what comes their way, whether or not they can smash it together, these two usually end up sticking together and always have one another's back. Number 3, Apocalypse and Genesis. The cutest, most badass couple ever. Before Ten of Swords and during it, we learned more about the history of the other part of Krakoa, known as Arakko. This other island basically became separated from Krakoa long ago due to an ancient and lengthy war that the previous mutant nation was part of. Yeah, that's right. Arakko used to be a mutant nation way before we had any other mutant nation island things. A mutant nation that Apocalypse himself ruled alongside his queen, Genesis. The two were the ultimate power couple, with Genesis actually being established in the comics as being the stronger of the two, which is just insane to think about. Someone that is like stronger than Apocalypse. I mean, I'm not surprised because Apocalypse, but damn. In the end, although they were forced to fight one another during the Otherworld tournament, the two returned to Arakko together, their bond proving to be unbreakable, despite the fact that all his family members actually attempted to kill him. But I guess for Apocalypse, that's like a compliment. He's like, look at you, y'all so strong. Trying to kill me? I appreciate it. Number 2, Black Adam and Isis. Here's hoping that Isis, aka Adriana Tomaz, gets some kind of redemption in the Black Adam movie. Adriana in the comics was an Egyptian woman whom Black Adam had saved and later fell in love with. The two ended up being married and both changed one another in a very meaningful way. Black Adam gifted Adriana an amulet, allowing her to become the superpowered being known as Isis, and she inspired him to be a better man, a better leader, changing his ways to become more of a hero, although his methods would still often put him on the more anti-hero spectrum. He had the love, but sometimes it was just a little too much, a little too intense. When Adriana died, however, all of this became undone, and she made Black Adam swear to get revenge on those who had killed her, telling him to forget everything she had taught him. Wait, what? And when she returned after her death, she ended up kind of going crazy. I mean, she had her reasons, but still. Still, before all of that tragedy, their relationship was one that inspired both of them to be more. Number 1, Mystique and Destiny. Yay, I'm so excited to get to talk about these two. Of course, one of my favorite pairings in comics is the eternal love between Mystique and Destiny. This love is so strong that I'm just waiting on the edge of my seat for Mystique to destroy all of Krakoa because they won't bring her wife back. I seriously hope that's how this whole thing ends. I never want it to end, but also, it'd be so good. And Mystique destroying Krakoa is something that we know Destiny would actually condone because she herself told Mystique to burn it all to the ground if they wouldn't bring her back. back. Oh baby. Destiny and Mystique lived together for many years and raised their adopted daughter Rogue together. Despite the fact that Destiny has been gone for years, Mystique still misses her and remains loyal to her lost love. After all this time and after all the partners that have come after Destiny, Destiny is still Mystique's one true love. And it's so sweet. Thank you so much for watching. What are some of your favorite supervillain couples? Which supervillains would you like to see pair up? Are there any supervillains who you think are always better just flying solo? Me personally, I feel like Dr. Doom is one of those. Let us know in the comments below. And let us know if you maybe want a part 2 to this list, because there are so many awesome couples who did not make the cut that we also need to talk about. So great. Speaking of comments, let's hop into some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 DC Future State Shocking Moments. So much shock. Chris Bradley comments, Yara Flora leaves the Justice League, looks interesting to me. And Amanda, I can totally see you playing as Batgirl. Well, thank you. They're making a movie, like I said. Have DC or Warner Brothers people call my people. Figure it out. I'm so down, and I'm so down to do all the stunts. Let's do it. Aurelian Soul suggests, okay, we need to cast you as Jean Grey for the MCU. Okay, all right. I feel like I could also do that, you know, if Disney and Marvel's people want to call me, I'm open to that. I'd love to be Jean Grey. We just had one, but they might be recasting for the MCU, which I'd be into. And oddly enough, I think it's really awesome that someone also responded to that comment with a suggestion for me as Squirrel Girl, which I'm also here for. Like, I gotta say, Jean or Doreen, either way, I am very happy. So, yeah. I feel like I have good energy for Squirrel Girl. Like, I'm very positive. I don't know if I'm young enough for Squirrel Girl, but yeah. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and feels shouted out in a future video. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host, Amanda McKnight. You stay nerdy, YouTube.